Markets finally exhaled this week after a strong July start. The Dow fell 1.02%, S&P slipped 0.31%, Nasdaq edged down 0.08%, and the Russell 2000 gave up 0.63%. The pullback followed record closes for the S&P and the Nasdaq last Friday, but rising yields and tariff tensions brought in some friction. Leadership came from energy, defense, airlines, and industrials. Big tech was mixed. NVDA climbed 3.5%, became the first company to cross $4 trillion market cap, but weakness in software, managed care, insurance, and consumer staples dragged on the broader indexes. Yields steepened throughout the week. The 10-year closed at 4.42%, and the 30-year hit 4.96%. The dollar was up 1% on the week, and gold gained 0.6%. Crude oil rose 2.2%, and copper surged nearly 9%. Trump ramped up the trade rhetoric with new tariffs locked in. 25% on Japan and South Korea, 50% on Brazil and copper, 35% on Canada, and talk of a 15 to 20% baseline on most partners. Meanwhile, the Fed remained in a holding pattern. June FOMC minutes showed a split. Economic data was light. Initial jobless claims ticked down. Continuing claims rose to their highest since late 2021, and the New York Fed inflation expectation showed short-term improvement. Small business optimism slipped slightly. Big tech stayed in the headlines. OpenAI is preparing to launch a browser to compete with Chrome. Meta approached Apple's top AI exec. Amazon is considering another investment in Anthropic. Earnings were a mixed bag. Delta surged 11% on raised guidance. Levi's beat and raised. MP jumped 41% on a Department of Defense partnership. Mobileye dropped 15% on a secondary offering. Conagra missed and cited tariff-driven cost inflation. Helen of Troy tanked over 30% on weak guidance. Also worth watching, WK Kellogg was acquired by Ferrero for $3.1 billion. Verona Pharma was snapped up by Merck for $10 billion, and Autodesk is reportedly eyeing a deal for PTC. Looking ahead, next week, Tuesday, June CPI and Empire State Index. Wednesday, PPI, industrial production, Fed beige book. Thursday, retail sales, jobless claims. Friday, consumer sentiment, housing starts, building permits, plus earnings from JP Morgan, BlackRock, Delta, United, Netflix, Abbott, and more. Momentum is still strong, but it feels like storm clouds are forming. Tariffs, yields, inflation, and earnings were all converging next week. Stay disciplined, stay focused, stay profitable. God bless.